Domino's has really made innovation part of its brand. And if any of you like me were watching linear or OTT TV in recent weeks, you've seen Domino's self-driving delivery vehicles, which were just started a new TV spot cycle recently. So it's our pleasure to kick off an event on the theme of innovation with Christopher Thomas Moore, who's been at the center of some of these recent pushes. Christopher is VP of Media, Digital Marketing, and Product Development at Domino's. He's been behind highly imaginative programs like Domino's Points for Pies program that used AI tech in its own app to grow the loyalty program. CTM, where are you?
Hey, I'm here.
There you are. How you doing? Where are you coming to us from?
I'm here in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Whoa, that's nice. That's nice country.
It's fine, so I'm happy.
Yeah, for you. I know that you've got a lot to cover because Domino's has been working on a lot of stuff, and you've got a lot of stuff that you want to share with attendees. So I'm going to shut up and just let you take over and come back on the back end with some questions.
Sounds good. Pulling up my screen now. All right, you guys can see this, I hope. So let's jump into it. Hello, everyone. Super excited to be with you today to talk a little bit about our story of innovation here at Domino's. But first, I thought it was good just to let's kick off and talk about our brand. And so Domino's has been around for over 60 years. We started in Ypsilanti, Michigan 60 years ago, and have been growing and moving and shaking ever since. You know, we are one of the pioneers of food delivery a long time ago. And it's super exciting to see where we are now as now the #1 pizza chain globally. And so that took a lot to get there, right? That didn't happen overnight. That's 60 years of progress to get to the #1 pizza chain in the world. And to do that, innovation was a big part of our story. And it's important to know that innovation is a journey. You know, it did not just happen overnight. It was a process that we went through, a number of processes and years, decades that we went through of different innovations that got us to the point of being the #1 pizza company in the world. As we start to think about technology innovation and some of the big advancements of Domino's, one of the ones that stands out really is our tracker that we introduced in 2008. When Domino's launched our tracker, before that, like you would order a pizza and pray and hope that you got it, and you don't know where it is, what part of the actual life cycle of the development of that pizza it was in. And so the tracker finally opened that black box of what happens in pizza creation. And so with this, it was really pushing against the tension of, you know, wanting to be better informed as a customer so that you could prepare yourself, your family, put the dogs away, and really be very sure and understanding of where your order is. And so that leaning on the customer drove us into 2010, where we made another push of really listening to our customers and addressing their concerns. And in 2010 is when we made a statement that was a very bold statement of our product not being the best that it could be, you know, and that there was a lot of room for improvement based off of feedback that we got from our customers. So I'm going to show a quick video. Give me 1 second, because actually I'm not sure if the audio is sharing. So let me share sound. Bam. Okay, so let's go ahead and share this in a quick video, give you a little bit of the background.
In 2010, after serving the same pizza for 50 years, Domino's decided it was time for a change. But a brand new pizza can't be sold with the same old advertising. The work had to address the elephant in the room, that everyone thought Domino's pizza tasted like, well, how about we let them tell you?
Domino's tastes low quality and forgettable.
Domino's pizza crust to me is like cardboard.
Instead of hiding the hate,
totally void of flavor,
they embraced it.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change. You've got to move forward.
This is what's driving us. This is what's making us want to get better.
So we let the entire story unfold online in a 5-minute documentary. The campaign generated a lot of conversation, and the new pizza is shaping up to be one of the most successful product launches in Domino's 50-year history.
May God bless America, and may God bless Domino's new pizza recipe.
So that video just highlights, you know, that there was just a need for us to innovate, and it was an innovation of our product based off of the feedback that we were receiving from our customers. but that innovation did our business well. This is one of our sales charts in one of our stores where the sales were literally through the roof, and we couldn't track them any longer on the boards that we were tracking in the store. And over the last decade, we've been a leader in overall QSR, being, top producing from a same-store sales standpoint over the course of 10 years. And that 10-year journey happened through a lot of different activities from the brand. But in the heart of it, it was being, a very fanatical and very deliberate around focusing on our customers, because we know that if you can focus on your customer and put them in the center, you'll win every time. And so we had a lot of wins over the years with different innovations, from our DXP vehicle, the first vehicle that was invented just for pizza delivery. It had an oven in the back. It has compartments and spaces for all the sides and all of the drink carriers, to our Anywhere platform that we launched in 2016 that made pizza accessible in places that it wasn't before, from leveraging your Google device to a smartwatch where you could actually place an order, to even tweeting at a pizza emoji or sending a text message to place an order. All of these technologies introduced pizza in realms and areas that it wasn't before. To the next year, 2017, when we launched our actual Dave, our autonomous vehicle. And so this was years ago, before our current autonomous vehicle that was discussed earlier. We were very early in understanding this technology because we knew that it was going to be the future for us and just the globe. And so learning and partnering with Ford in development of this vehicle years ago was a big part of our story and where we were going. 2018, we launched our hotspots. So then you can now get pizzas delivered into like really random places that you could never get pizza. So from a park bench to a beach to a corner on a random street, we have hotspots that are all throughout the country, providing new delivery opportunities for pizza, and that launched in 2018. And in 2019, we took another very bold move, just like the move that we took in 2010 when we said there was opportunity to improve our pizzas. In 2019, we wanted to celebrate the love for pizzas. And so to do that, we wanted to do a campaign where we basically gave away our loyalty points to anyone who was enjoying pizza, just for the love of pizza. We knew that if you were loving pizza, we love pizza, it was a win-win for everyone. And so I'm gonna play really quickly a short commercial to highlight that campaign.
At Domino's, we love pizza as much as you do. That's why we're giving you Piece of the Pie rewards points for eating any pizza from anywhere.
Pizza from here?
Yep.
How about from here?
That's right.
Homemade pizza?
I guess.
Homemade pizza?
That's a little better.
What about anchovy?
Any toppings.
New York style? Deep dish.
Any pizza.
What?
Download the Domino's app, scan your pizza, and you could earn 10 Piece of the Pie rewards points toward free Domino's pizza.
So this campaign was a big one for us because, one, who gives points to competitive purchases? Domino's does. And why? Because of the love and celebration of pizza. And, we really knew that with this campaign that there was an opportunity to also bring us together. Because if we go back just, a few years ago, 2019, which, not that different from 2021, we were sitting in a very divisive state in this world and specifically in this country. And so there was an opportunity to bring people together. And so we were super excited about doing that through this campaign. And it paid off really big for us. It was a big bet, but it paid off well. In just a matter of a few weeks, we had over 1 billion media impressions and lots of great conversation around this campaign and what it was doing and how it was bringing people together. And it was a huge launch and a great success for the brand. We saw growth in our app downloads, and we saw loyalty enrollments that grew, as well as the overall social sentiment was positive throughout. So 2019, big year, right? And we had a big campaign. And so part of our thinking coming out of 2019 was, what are we going to do to top that in 2020? 2020 has to be a big year to top all of what we've done in 2019. And so a lot of planning, a lot of layouts of designs of different tactics that we could deploy, advertising messages, et cetera. And so we went into 2020 extremely excited about what was to come. But little did we know that 2020 was going to be the year that it was in so many ways, right? And so 2020 was a year that forced us to really challenge the brand in ways that we hadn't in the past, and we talk about the fact that Domino's is a technology brand, an innovator, and all of these things. And we've proved that out over the course of a number of years, but really 2020 was the opportunity to do that all in real time within a very short window of time. How could we innovate? How could we shift? How could we focus on what was most important to focus on during a year that was unlike anything in the past? And so to do that, we really had to ask ourselves some questions. And so I wanted to probe 3 questions that we asked and that I would consider you to ask yourselves about: are you innovation ready, regardless of the situation that you're facing? Do you have the structure set up, and are you ready to innovate in very unprecedented environments? And so the first question that we really had to ask ourselves, and I ask you, is that, is your organization built for agility? And why that question is very important is that these were our plans, our 2020 plans. They all were in a dumpster and on fire because they just didn't matter as much as what was going on in the world at the time. And so we had to rethink throughout the entire landscape of everything, from our marketing side to our technology side. How could we pivot and change to address the current state that we were in? As well as we had to pivot just our actual team members, right? Because we had to take a massive amount of corporate team members and move them home, and figure out how we did that in an effective way in an environment where collaboration is such a big part of our brand and how we execute against innovations and different tactics. How could we do this in a world where everyone was virtual and still win? And thankfully, because of the fact that we have structures in place that help us with that, we were able to pivot our organization. And really, if I really think about at the heart of it, what helped us do that is really talking about our goals and our objective alignment. And one area that I've seen across the organizations that I've been a part of, or that I've supported as a consultant or on the agency side, is that many organizations are set up in this structure, right? Where there are a set of annual goals for one organization that don't necessarily mirror or have any relationship at all to the goals and objectives of another group. When that happens, and there are points of pivot like this, like 2020, where we had to change all of our thinking and new approaches, it makes it really complicated to move and pivot the organization, because you have challenging objectives that you're competing against, And so for us, and what I think has made us most effective from a Domino's standpoint, is the fact that we do have symmetry in our objectives. So in our goals. So when we think of our targets and what we're working towards, my goals are the same as my IT counterparts, the same as my analytics and insights counterparts. And so we're all pushing towards the same goal. And so if that goal changes, then we all change and are able to move towards the new goal that's now been set. So that's the first area that I think we all need to continue to explore and ask ourselves: are we set up for agility? Do we have the organizational structures? Do we have the goals and objective structures that set us up for success in an environment where we have to make quick changes? And we were able to show that in some of the things that launched. So from top left, our pizza pedestal, which is a very small innovation of a cardboard box, but a really important one when we moved to contactless delivery, because we didn't want to just throw your order on the ground. That just doesn't seem right. And so we needed to build something that we can place your order on top of to act as a barrier. To at the bottom, our car side delivery, being able to come out and bring your order to your car, because many of our stores did not have access into the stores as a result of COVID restrictions, but in a safe way, be able to transact with our carryout customers as they came to our store. And our most recent innovation is our partnership with Neuro, the launch of our new autonomous vehicle, which we're currently testing. And we're really excited about this. One, it's really cool to see this vehicle driving down the road by itself. It's kind of crazy and freaky, but it's been amazing. But also, it's a great contactless environment where we place the order and the customer actually picks it up directly in front of their home. So these innovations all were happening as a result of a lot of pivoting. And some of these had started before COVID, but really became very important to the business as we moved forward. So the next question I'm going to ask you to ask yourselves, are your messages really relevant, right? In that environment of COVID, like all the things that we wanted to talk about weren't as relevant anymore, right? Because people had a lot of concerns, right? How do I get food to me in a safe way? And all these different questions were being asked. And so those messages that we thought about, we planned a year in advance, just really did not mean as much as other more relevant messages that we needed to provide. And so when we think about messaging and how we provide good messaging, we view that there has to be some level of tension in those messages. And, you know, tension is a genuine coiled up discomfort in society as we define it. And when you break through that, that's when you have really powerful messages that really stick to your audiences. And when we think about our tensions, we look at them really in three lenses. What are the customer tensions? What are the stresses that face the everyday lives of our customers? What are the cultural pressures that we're all facing as a society? And then lastly, what's happening in the category or within the brand itself that we need to lean in on? And so I'm going to use the example from Points for Pies just to kind of help walk through what this looks like in real life. So again, during 2019, when we launched Points for Pies, our cultural insight was that we lived in a very divided and partisan country. And from our customers, they were tired of so much division and hatred and just wanted some peace and camaraderie and opportunity to come together. And from a category, you know, there were just so many options for pizza, be it national chains, regional mom and pops. And so the heart of that was the opportunity to bring all of these tensions together via opportunity through Points for Pies, which spoke to our brand DNA of the fact that, you know that we love pizza more than anyone. And we wanted to bring together people under that umbrella of the love of pizza. And so when we think about what that then means for our activities within the year, that's where we had to shift all of our advertising too. So we recorded an entire commercial done by Zoom, which was super exciting, where, you know, our franchisees were talking about the need for additional resources because of the demand of new delivery requests and orders coming in. And so, but our advertising team led by Kate Trumbull had to do all of this via Zoom because of regulations and restrictions. And so it was so relevant because everyone was talking on Zoom at the time. Everyone was using these platforms for communication. And so it was way more relevant than a very high branded communication that clearly was not done within the time frame that we were living in. And so the last question I'm going to leave with you is, do you support and promote disruption within your organization? Disruption is such an important part of really getting breakthrough and really driving consideration. And so for us, you know, still within the year, we needed to continue to innovate. And one of the areas that we innovated on were more options from a food standpoint. So I'm going to play a short commercial and then talk about specifically what we did in this actual innovation of product.
What does Domino's know about tacos and burgers? As delivery experts, we know they shouldn't be delivered like this.
Thanks for the soggy tacos spread across the bottom of my delivery bag.
The burger was wilted.
We hate to see anything delivered poorly.
We wanted to give you a burger that is designed to be delivered.
What does Domino's know about tacos and burgers? As delivery experts, we know they shouldn't be delivered like this.
Thanks for the soggy tacos spread across the bottom of my delivery bag.
The burger was wilted.
We hate to see anything delivered poorly.
We wanted to give you a burger that is designed to be delivered.
Oh, of course, technology. This is the world we live in right now. It's not working. But at the end of the day, this was our launch of our new cheeseburger and chicken taco pizzas. And these were pizzas that were designed for delivery and were better delivery options than a delivered burger or taco. And so it was a point of disruption, right? We leaned in on that tension of delivery and some of the pressures and challenges of delivery. But it was a really successful and great fun launch for us in disrupting kind of some of those conversations around poor delivery experiences. And so I leave you those three questions of, do you have an organization that's structured for agility? Are you really promoting relevant messages? And internally, do you allow for and promote disruption in your organization? And the last thing I'm going to leave with you, because I'm running out of time really quickly, are really just the key tenets that we hold true here at Domino's. First is that we embrace the revolution. Things are changing and things are changing quickly, especially in the world that we're in now. And you have to embrace and understand those revolutions that are happening and be part of it to understand how your brand moves forward from here. Practicing uncommon honesty. You don't get more honest when you say your product sucks and has opportunity for improvement. And that's what we did. And we find time and time again when we're real with our customers that we get credit for that and they appreciate that. Defining the why is important. Don't do things just to do them. What's the goal? What's the impact? What are you pushing towards? Taking bold actions. I mean, not everybody feels comfortable taking big steps and being in front or making bold statements, but you have to find areas where that can be possible within your organization. We find, and I've seen over a number of years, that those bigger bets generally pay off the biggest. And so taking those bold actions are important. We challenge and critique everything, you know, a lot of evaluation and testing into every process, every campaign, every message, because we want to make sure that we're doing the best. But we also know that things that happened before or things that work for someone else doesn't necessarily work for us. And so we have to challenge and reevaluate constantly. Getting innovation ready is just this whole conversation, you know, making sure that you have the setup to be ready to innovate and grow. And specifically in a world that you have to pivot really quickly, do you have that structure? Do you have the people? Do you have the organization to be ready to make those pivots? Innovation is advertising. We see that with our current campaign with Neuro and bringing back our Noid, that those messages are of innovation actually work as well for advertising. And the eighth one, which I wrote in, is that we're a work in progress brand. You know, we are not at the point of perfection. There's a lot further for us to go to get there, but we're always striving for that. But we're always growing, we're learning. We allow for, you know, failure. We allow for learnings. We allow for the opportunity for people to grow and develop, and just as the brand. And so we are not there yet, but we're moving in the right direction. So with that, I want to say thank you. I know I flew through that really quickly, but really enjoyed the opportunity to be with you guys today, and I'm ready to take any questions that you guys might have.
Well, thank you, CTM. I want to remind everybody, if you have questions for Christopher, please either type them into the chat window or raise your hand and we'll call you in. We do have a couple of questions. First, about measurement. How are you measuring the success of something as generalized as innovation? So for instance, the cardboard stands innovation during the pandemic. How did you know that was working? I mean, were there particular KPIs you were using against an innovation like that? Or were you simply going with your gut and figuring it's probably a good thing?
Yeah, you know, for us, of things happens from listening to both directly from our customers, but also listening to the data. You know, we feel like the data is such an important thing. And so looking at, you know, are people continuing to order from us? You know, are we seeing good traction of these products? Are we getting social? We saw really quickly that people started posting on all the social platforms or pizza pedestals and like, look at this new thing Domino's is doing, which picked up conversation. And so I don't think that there's ever kind of a single way in to evaluate the success of something. It's generally multi-layered based off of what data and you have accessible to you.
Do you have specific testing protocols in place? I mean, when you come up with a new idea, do you already have in place how and where you want to test things and why?
We do. We have, you know, a stage gate process that helps drive us through the process of innovating. But, you know, one of the things that we do that I love is that we prototype everything. You know, we get down and really understand how things work before they're in market. And so a lot of testing goes into an innovation before anyone ever sees it, because we want to make sure that it's working the way that we'd like it to.
A lot of your efforts have a kind of, and you called it honesty, but a lot of it has a kind of self-deprecating quality or the kind of thing that I know that PR people cringe at, because I deal with PR people all the time. And I know that anything that seems to be in any way critical of a brand it takes them aback. So I'm curious, Domino's seems to not only have this reputation for innovation, but also has this kind of self-deprecatory tone where you not only were willing to take on the quality of your own product and give your customers dissatisfied customer's voice. But even in things like the points for the pies for points for pies program, you were essentially encouraging and allowing people to buy other people's product. So I'm curious about a couple of things. What are the internal conversations that go on about that? And you say you get credit for that. Again, how do you know you get credit for that? What are the metrics that tell you something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if I view it more as just being real with ourselves and with our customers of who we are and what we offer. And I think that the reality of who we are and being transparent is something that people appreciate, because I think there are questions of the truth of some of the conversations that are out there, and I think that our customers can trust what we say, because we'll say the things that are both good and bad about ourselves, right? And we don't have a problem with doing that. And it is a very challenging conversation internally when we go down that route, right? It's not like the easiest thing to do to say that you need to improve your whole product you're offering, right? And it's multi-layers, but it's one that we're willing to have. I think that there are probably a lot of organizations that shy away from even having those conversations. But because we are having those, I think we get credit, and the proof of that credit is the trend that we've seen over the last 10 years that, our customers have been loyal to this brand. And I think part of it is because they can trust what we say and what we do.
What are the next areas for the whole category? What are the next areas where you're anticipating great innovation? Obviously, we've gone through a period where delivery was a tremendous innovation, where mobile apps were a tremendous innovation, takeout. We've gone through those stages. Are there technologies or areas of the business where you think will be the hotbeds for real imaginative energy over the next few years?
Yeah, I think definitely, 2020 has set new expectations on a lot of different fronts, from technology to processes and, delivery. So I think that, we're still scratching the surface on a lot of things as an overall industry that will continue to be important. And so I don't think that there are necessarily new avenues, but I think just the increased importance of those areas that are really core to what we do at Domino's will become even more important for our customers. I think the other area of innovation that's really interesting is just the media landscape has changed so much in the last year. And so I expect to see, a lot of evolution and change in that space, in how we talk to our customers on a day-to-day basis.
Christopher Thomas Moore, thank you so much for kicking us off in the right spirit. Enjoy the rest of that cool. It's a cooler than us afternoon in Ann Arbor, I bet.
I will.